And good morning. It's Friday again, thankfully. And we're live with another UmbraCoffee episode 218. And this one is really live. If Marcin's internet is playing up, we've got all the same issues as we usually have. So yeah. How are you, Marcin?
I left the sun intentionally coming through my window to prove that it's really live. But yeah, I'm good. I'm really enjoying the kind of spring weather that hits the Poland right now, and finally I'm not wearing any sweater, jumper, or anything like that during the work and after work. So that's something what makes me happy. What about you? What about your weekend?
We've had the same here. The weather's been great, and although not that warm. So I think last weekend it was lovely and sunny. I put my like loose jacket on and just go out for a walk, and it got very cold very quickly. It was nice and sunny, but still cold. But yeah, good. Busy week as always.
Yeah, as usual. Let us know how's your week, and hit the like button, subscribe button if you are not subscribing us yet, because we are still collecting the subscribers, and we want to reach 1,000 subscribers until the Code Garden, which is not that far from here. So yeah, thank you in advance for that. And let's jump to the news, because there is a lot of news happening as well, and a lot of things happened in this week. Let me share my screen and we can talk about it, starting from the fresh news about bridging courses from Umbraco 9 to Umbraco 8 to Umbraco 9. And my screen is hopefully showing somehow.
Yes, your screen is not showing. And
I will lost you. Callum, are you still here with us?
I'm still here. It's you that may not be.
Okay, that's interesting. Can you see my screen?
I can, yeah.
Yes, it's loading. So yeah, let's talk about the bridging courses. So they are right now in the offering, and it's a refresher on the new certification structure, and there is a whole new structure with some changes to that. Again, I don't know if everyone was following the changes of the recent certification. Callum, I know you were also catching up on everything from the certification perspective, right? Where are you on the master degrees and keeping it?
I have all of them, and all of the 8 ones as well, and the bridging courses. I received an email a little while ago saying they were available for me. They're not showing in my account or anything yet. I don't know if it's something I've not really looked at it, but I'll be doing those as well. So yeah, I'm kind of staying on top of all the training, and our whole team is as well. Actually, we've got a whole team of grandmasters, which is cool.
Yeah, and I think this kind of transition is even more important for technology people, because it's not purely Umbraco changes that are involved, but it's a whole technology stack change in behind the scenes. And for people who are not working with .NET Core, it might be a lot of knowledge about how to work with the .NET Core in general, not only with Umbraco, but also dealing with the new features of Umbraco itself. So yeah, I still remember my initial certification, and how I learned some new concepts of MVC together with Umbraco, and how to extend applications with the MVC patterns. So yeah, definitely something what I will be even interested in to catch up and also see how it evolved together with Umbraco. So there's new offering, new on the 2 new titles, and confirmation of whatever was also announced earlier. We've been talking about it for in the past, that the certification will last for 24 months. So it's for roughly 4 Umbraco major versions, and there will be always ever an option to regain the title by passing the required certificate when there will be required at this time of the path of the roadmap. So yeah, that's really cool. And there is a special offer right now, if I saw it correctly somewhere. Yeah, 25% off for getting the bundle of the packages and the package and the certification training offer in overall. So link will be down below. Take a read if you want to certify yourself, and if you want to get the knowledge straight from the Umbraco HQ. This is still and again, I don't know yet, but probably all of them right now are aimed to be an online courses, right?
Yep, they're
Callum, do
on
you know anything
demand.
about
So
it?
there's video and a workbook to go through. I think it says they take about half a day to do. My experience before from them was they didn't take that long. They maybe a couple of hours. And I know some people didn't even look at the material and just did the test. But there's a reasonable amount of material there. There's only 4 courses, so if you set aside some time this weekend, I reckon you can get all 4 done.
Yeah, but we are talking only about bridging courses right now,
Yeah,
not the general certification. Yeah. So that's true. Yeah, and it's easy to just catch up on the changes. So that's completely fine. So yeah, this is the first major thing to be announced this week. But the second one is about Umbraco and Umbraco 9.4 and 9.4.1 version that was released 4 hours after the 4.0.
Yeah,
Something
been a little while since we've had one of those. It's quite exciting, isn't it? It used to be the norm, didn't it? With Umbraco, you get a minor release and then a patch within a day or so. But this was one raised by Kevin Jump actually on Slack, something that was broken between the RC and the actual release. So that's interesting. But of course, nothing else really changed since the RC. So yeah, you've got the item tracking, which I spoke about the other day. Really easy. A lot of packages you may not realize already support it. You've got a bunch of back office improvements. You've got also the changes to the content apps. I mean, when do we? Yes. I know this has been a thing for a while. When do we stop calling them content apps? Because you can now put them on dictionary items as well, which means they're not content, are they? They're in a translation section. You can put them on kind of anywhere in the CMS. I think this context app name is far better.
Far better. There was discussion about it.
But yeah,
and again, it's becoming a kind of a natural way of extending Umbraco context with some custom things, not only related with content and sections out there. But yeah, it's interesting to see it's getting improved. And generally, the big release. I wanted to get back to this patch release because interesting discussion happened there about the listing or not listing the package on the NuGet. I don't know if you saw it, Callum. It was about if this package like this should stay, if it has some issues that was introduced, and it was interesting to see the perspective from various maintainer and also consumer perspectives, and I really like how it was handled. And again, big kudos here for Kevin Jump here and the Umbraco team as well for the collaboration and making it fixed and done. And yeah, for all of us, I think the essential takeaway is to always update to the most recent one, and right now update as often as possible, because the patch fixes are really patch fixes. They are not just introducing something what was missed or dropped. Is usually fixing some of the issues that were spotted in the major version. So that's
I didn't see that conversation, but they have unlisted it from NuGet, which makes sense. This patch wasn't just a little, something's not quite right in the back office. It was like the app won't boot, so it was pretty fundamental that it wouldn't work. But I guess that it does make sense to unlist. And of course, I don't know, but for me, I will always just go for the latest version of the package.
Yeah.
Like if in the NuGet.
But I know that some people and also probably people who are familiar with maybe other software providers, they will usually stick to the minor version, the solid minor, right? Let's wait for the next minor. That's the things that I often hear. And here it's not always a thing, because the really we know it maybe from the inside, because we kind of follow what's happening and what is changing. But it's always worth to update even to the next patch version, because there are always some fixes inside of it and small improvements, and generally it's not problematic approach. I saw some updates done by community people. I can't remember who was sharing this journey, but the update from 9.1 probably, or 9.2 to
this was Craig that said this on Twitter, that it was so straightforward to upgrade, like click a button and it's done type thing. That it was a real breath of fresh air, considering between at least even some 8 versions before you had issues. I know it was much more of a thing in 7 as well, where I think was it 7.7 or something, introduced a bunch of changes to back office users, and then people couldn't log in afterwards, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. So again, get your hands on 9.41, and if you don't want to install it or take a check on the code itself, there is a video released called Umbraco 9.4, where the Umbraco HQ team is exploring all of the new functionalities, all of the changes, and you can see it and preview it on the video directly without installing or checking it in the source code. So yeah, very good and a very good wrap up of the new features in the 9.4. That's from the Umbraco perspective, but also community releases this week are kind of huge, starting from uSkinned and the new version of uSkinned for Umbraco 9. I think it was very awaited by many users of uSkinned previously, and here the big kudos to the uSkinned team. We all know how big efforts it takes to migrate some of the huge code bases like this, and there was a lot of things out there. And I haven't used uSkinned in V9 yet, of course, because it's kind of fresh, but it looks really great, and I kind of like the idea of how it was extending the Umbraco defaults in the past. So yeah, if there are any uSkinned fans here, raise your hand.
I think the summary is it's the same but different. Like they've not changed anything. That's just a version that now works on V9, which is good to see. People not making too many breaking changes. I don't know if you've got a uSkinned site really what the upgrade process is. I recall it's like a manual diff between the changes. So it's probably, these kinds of upgrades are probably a bit bigger than you'd think, because you're still doing the Umbraco jump in there as well. But yeah, cool to see it out there.
Yeah, but yeah, very good to see that. And yeah, definitely right now it can take the benefits of the changes under the hood. And yeah, it's there. The next big release.
Before we move on to other releases, I was going to jump in with something that I don't know if we should be talking about, but I'm going to do it anyway, and I'll deal with the consequences. So people will know that Umbraco has Uno, which is their kind of equivalent of uSkinned site builder product.
Yes.
Well, it's no more. It's being shut down. So I got an email yesterday, because we as with every agency, we don't have time. We've never had enough time to invest in our own website. And so we spun up an Uno site really quickly because it was better than what we'd had before. We are working on a new one. We have been for like 3 years, but eventually it will happen. And so this was a stopgap. But I got an email yesterday saying Uno's going. And I heard rumblings from various people in the queue that this was going to be the case as well. But yeah, it's very interesting to see. So it kind of leaves only 2 options now if you want a off-the-shelf site builder. uSkinned, which is the only one that supports V9, I believe, and Igloo, which is of course what Uno was based off.
Yep.
But there's still no longer a SaaS option available. I think uSkinned has got a hosted platform as well now, but yeah, there's no SaaS option for.
Yeah. But again, we can refer back to the past where we discussed the usage of Uno, the competitors of Uno, and why it was maybe not aiming to compete with the right tools and software out on the market. And I also heard some rumors about it, and I think it's a good decision to focus on less, because less is more usually, right?
Focus on different products. So on hardcore, which clearly, I mean, we personally don't have a massive use case for it, but I know that in the US there's big demand for headless CMSs. Focus more on the DXP stuff, which we still don't quite understand, but I'm sure at some point it will make more sense. I feel like that aligns far more with Umbraco's target market, kind of lower to mid enterprise and agencies and stuff, than a drag and drop site builder. Use Squarespace or one of the Umbraco equivalents if you want. But I'm trying to think of the last time when Umbraco actually retired a product.
V5?
Well, okay, no, I don't think it was that long ago. Of course,
but probably that was that long ago.
We've had Courier be replaced with Deploy. So Courier has been retired, but they're kind of the same. Uno gone. There won't be a replacement for that. It's just a Umbraco Cloud. thing. I've got big dreams about what Umbraco Cloud could be, and I know I've spoken with HQ, and they think the same too. There was it Concierge way back in the day, but that's long gone now. There's I guess kind of recently Umbraco TV, but you could say that's been dead for a little while. So yeah, it's interesting, but it's the first time we've seen it in a little while that they've properly retired something.
And probably it's also
they're just moving those sites over to other cloud sites. It's not the end of the world.
Okay, I was going to ask you what's happening with your site.
They're not going to pull the plug. They're just going to move the site over to a regular cloud instance. It's just not going to receive updates after. I don't know when they said, but.
That's interesting, and again, hopefully it will result in the bigger focus on the smaller offering and the core products that will power up the bigger solutions that we can implement and extend also as a developers and also as a teams. So yeah, good now. And if there were any other Uno users here, let us also know if you are affected and what are your plans of migrating this solution somewhere else. Yeah, we will be definitely curious about it as well. Releases. Come back to releases because another big one. We've been mentioning this alpha and betas releases all the time. And
I worry we've bullied Anders a little bit here to release this, because it was a few weeks ago I was saying how we've been using one of the alphas in production for months, and it's great.
Yep.
It should just release it, and then we got a beta I think last week, and we've now got a release, a final
first stable release. So congrats, Anders, and congrats to the team for the stable release. I still think we talked a lot about this product because it's getting constant updates, constant releases, constant improvements and extensions. So very good product in overall. Right now, big milestone, and yeah, we can wait for more. And definitely, it's still one of the best redirects package to be used with Umbraco. So yeah, check it out if you haven't used it yet. Another two from Limbo team and Anders. One of them is the Vimeo player picker. We've talked about the YouTube picker previously, so here's the very granular approach for pickers and deliverabilities of them for Umbraco extensions. So yeah, embedding YouTube video.
What do you think about that? What do you think about that approach? Because this was something that was discussed extensively before. I know Lee Kelleher was asking about contentment. Should it be 50 packages or should it be one? And in this case, we've had there was some niche video picker package from the Limbo team, and then Vimeo and YouTube in the past week or so.
I had another discussion because our Novisol team reached out to me after last umbraCoffee and said, "Oh, we have an OEmbed picker released by our team that handles all of them inside of one picker." So it's like not just to be granular, but to try to rule them all via a single provider, for example. And we will be talking about Dave's OEmbed provider as well in a second. So I like granularity. I like to really focus on small areas, and then if I would say, okay, I don't know, video pickers, that would be my package name for it, and it would have 3 or 4 of them being added and just added as dependencies, maybe on optional dependencies, or maybe released on their own. That would be my approach. But I also see the huge benefit of OEmbed, and it depends from the requirements. Again, if there is a requirement for just the Vimeo platform, as I for example use Vimeo Pro for all of the videos hosting of my video services. I would love it. I would use it. I don't want to expose the whole OEmbed package possibilities and let editors to input everything out there, right? So that's kind of the decision and another business driver, I would say. But yeah, most granular approach from my perspective is better. What is your opinion, Callum?
Yeah, I largely agree with you. But I think there's a middle ground solution that also needs to be considered, whereby perhaps here, because they're releasing Skybrid video.youtube video.vimeo, having a Skybrid.video package on NuGet that just ships a couple other dependencies. So Skybrid are really good at splitting their dependencies up. They've got their essentials library, and I think they've done that.
That's true.
HTTP was something that was updated this week. But I kind of like the idea that if you just want video, like a video pickup, well then
video support. Yeah, sorry for your solution.
Just install that, because users don't necessarily go and seek out a specific YouTube or Vimeo. They may want a couple, and they may end up building on themselves. It's something I've considered with some of my packages as well. Having like we've got an internal library that does a load of SEO stuff for metadata. So I've got friendly robots and friendly sitemaps. So I could bundle all of those into like they're individual packages, but you could bundle them into one that's like friendly SEO, and it just does everything in one go. Or you can have the individuals. I quite like that approach. So yes for granularity, but also having a modular thing as well.
Yeah, and people, let us know your opinions, because I particularly like the division because of having a vision of controlling it by the feature flags in the soon future, where I want to really disable them by single one of them, right? So if it would be a big package called Vimeo video, I would need to either enable or disable it as one, right? When in this kind of situation, I can enable and disable particular pickers. So that's the benefit, but it all has its pros and cons. So let us know what you think is better for you and for what usually serves you better in your implementations. That would be really interesting input. So this was about video, and there was a second one called structured data. It is an interesting one, for the table views, and each table cell has its own rich text editor inside of it. So and I can't remember right now, but it rich text editor on its own. I would really be interested in something, and maybe let's throw my idea to that, because what about the grid editors inside of the table cells? Like
Marcin, no, come on. It's so there's going to be so much data.
I was playing with a lot of tables implementations recently, and there is no perfect solution for it all. Even though in the HTML, everything is so easy in the HTML right now, right? It's not easy to manage tables in the CMSs, and that's why I think it's just rich text editor can rule it all. That's fine. But not for all of the cases. If you have a very particular editors, right, and you want to really control it very granular, in this case, for example, right, that would be something that needs to be tailored.
I've seen where this sort of thing makes sense is things like a pricing matrix, where you've maybe got 3 plans and you've got features in each, and then you've got a price or something at the bottom. And previously, we've taken clients like front end markup and just integrated that into the CMS as a proxy editor, like a custom thing storing just a JSON object. I like that approach. For general tables, as in I need a table of a few data points, I'm really not sure. And then if you're going beyond and you want, as you say, a bit more control over the content in each cell, then I'm a big fan of trying to deconstruct that that data in the back office and not represent it necessarily as a table, but as distinct bits of data. So whether you want a grid on that and you have nodes, or use the block list or whatever. When the data structure gets more complex, more nested, I'm all for like splitting it out, separating it in different places.
Right now, I thought about block list editor and the template for block list to render it as a table. That would be something interesting. I will give a proof of concept for that. But yeah, it's a really nice package, and I saw it for V8, so probably it's a port, an extension for V9 of Umbraco, and again, beta 1 of the package, but definitely highly recommended to check it out if you are looking for something similar. The good one, and 2 releases from Dave. One of them is Umbraco multi-language text box with support for Umbraco V9. And I don't know if we talked about it or we missed it last week, but Dave also released this embed property picker editor last week. And Dave, thanks for a reminder today on the Twitter. It's good to remind about previous tweets. But this is exactly tackling the topics we were discussing. So this one allows to embed many embed codes and handles them all inside of the one single property editor to be rendered as this. So yeah, really good one, and yeah, good to see new releases from Dave. And yeah, this is the 2 of them to be mentioned this week. And last but not least, on the packages side is also not being released for a while, ExaminX. with the new patch version for 3.0.1, and it has one bug fix, and with full details are on GitHub. And Shannon released a new update for it, so still new things are coming there, new fixes, and hopefully even more from Shannon will be released in the next future. If we missed anything this week from the release perspective, let us know as well. We'll definitely come back to this next week, but it was very, very packed week with a lot of great releases. So yeah, high five rock for everyone doing the great work there. Meetups next. Reminder about the virtual Umbraco in the March 29th, or about Umbraco Azure App Services and how to not auto-scale. Still time to sign up, and as a virtual meetup, it's open for everyone to attend virtually. The next one is in London, and it's in-person event on April 5. And Philip is joining from Umbraco HQ to do in-person Q&A, and it's interesting.
This is our
first. I can't wait.
That's exciting. It'll be great to see you.
Yes.
This is our first in-person event in 2 years. In fact, 2 years, because our last one was March something of 2020. It's a trial. We're not expecting too many people to show, and we've said if a lot of people express interest, we'll close it for signups because we want to control numbers, keep it relatively responsible and safe. But it will be a fully in-person thing, just this once, and then we'll go back to some virtual meetups too.
Nice.
But it'd be good to see Philip in town. Good to see you in town, Marcin. Good to see people in person for once.
Yeah, and as you've said, SVP as soon as possible, because there is a need of having knowledge on the amount of people joining to make it safe and great for everyone.
We realized we promoted this at a recent meetup, I think our last one, and we asked, how do people feel about us doing an in-person one? And I think beyond the organizers, only one person that was there was actually based in or around London, and everyone else was from elsewhere in the world, and that's awesome. And we want to keep that going too. But we're going to have to find a balance somewhere there.
Yeah, for sure. But for all who missed the in-person events, it's a great to see them back on the roadmap and be able to attend them. And for all the virtual hackers, there's a new initiative that Callum, you probably was the father of the name.
Can I claim credit for the name? I think maybe. Did Paul say that on Twitter? I don't know. But yeah, Umbracolong.
Umbracolong, yeah. Umbracolong first event. So it will be kind of a hacking session combined with whatever will be there. No talks, just meetup, just discussion between the friendly people from the community. And the first one is at the same day as Umbraco London meetup.
If you can't attend London, join that virtually.
Yep. So this is for the virtual discussions, and it will be over Discord or Zoom, still to be discussed. And 12 people already signed up, so really good. And kudos for Paul for making it happen that fast, because from the idea probably to execution, it took a day or two, something like that. That was really great. And yeah, that's about the meetups and the nearby opportunities to exchange knowledge. And then we have some blog posts starting from Purnima and member login using GitHub in Umbraco v9. So more extensions of membership and login opportunities, this time with the GitHub provider, and just ready to be copied code to make it work for Umbraco. And yeah, it's really interesting to see how easy it is, to be honest, to extend the authentication with some external providers like this. This code for this one is very, very cool and easy. 2 releases from Paul on YouTube with the new articles from 24 days in, day 21 and day 22. So Umbraco on Docker from Carl. And the second one is microarchitectures and also part 2.
Part 2 is the same. It's the same one. But it was a very big. It was a very big article. It got spread over 2 days. So that's cool.
Good to see it. And speaking about new .NET. We've seen the announcements this week from Microsoft that .NET 5 will reach its end of support on May 8th this year. It's really
I saw
really
a lot of
soon, to
people,
be honest.
I saw a lot of people on Twitter losing their minds over this. What?
Yeah,
Why? And then, of course,
it was
Umbraco
announced somewhere back in time.
9 ships with V9 by default. But to be very clear, this has always been the plan. This is not a surprise. Umbraco 9 also runs on .NET 6, so you can install it and run it on .NET 6, and you should. You should. There's no reasons not to at this point. Umbraco 10 will support .NET 6 as the default, but because Umbraco is going to be updating once a year to align with the versions, or at least supporting them, you're going to have this for a bit where you may be running against a version of the framework that isn't officially supported by Microsoft anymore. And all that means is you're not going to get bug fixes. But I don't think people would really know. Well, when was the last time you updated .NET Core on your machine?
Indeed. But I remember some of the discussions with team members who were starting .NET Core development from its betas and early releases. That was every week, every new release, and that was very awaited because the new features were there. And here it's more like it's stable already. It's there. It's not going anywhere. But there is just a new kid on the blog that you need to use right now, and just use it. And there's a very clear instruction also how to upgrade it on your machines and your projects. And as we all know right now, Umbraco supports .NET 6, and there's no effect or side effect for us of this change. It's just moving on to the new and better version.
I saw. I think Philip said on Twitter, not Philip, maybe Bjarke said on Twitter that that V11 of Umbraco is due out for December of this year. I mean, that's really crazy to think that we've still got V10 and we're actually talking about V11, but that comes out December, and Microsoft will release .NET 7 in November, and V11 in December will ship supporting .NET 7. So that's just going to show how quickly Umbraco are going to try and stay on top of those framework updates too.
Yeah. And again, keeping it all in sync will be tricky and interesting to see, but it's the way to go. Especially that the technologies evolve so fast that it's just every step and every change is just introducing so many improvements that it would be really sad to not be able to upgrade to it quickly. So that's good to see from Umbraco side that it's just addressed already up front. So yeah, that's from this announcement, and some reminders maybe at the end of the episode, because we have some deadlines and dates to keep up with. Starting from the Code Garden, still sale of the tickets is open, and there are some early bird tickets that are ending on April 22nd. And if anyone wants to save 200 euros and secure the tickets already now, it's still possible to get some I wanted to say refunds, but discounts and leave leave it for example for the hotel or anything else during the Code Garden. And by speaking about anything else, we've seen this tweet today from Anders Berla. And I think 200 euros might be enough, or I don't know what is the price for it in Denmark. But if anyone wants to go to the clouds directly and do a skydive jump in the tandem or solo in Odense on Tuesday before the Code Garden, that's an option right now.
That would be a proper pre-party entrance, wouldn't it? Skydiving into the pre-party.
I was doing a tandem jump on my bachelor's party, and I have a very interesting disclaimer for everyone. You can't do it drunk. They are checking it, so it would divide some people for the two different pre-parties. But it's an amazing option, and I would really love to see that if people will do it. I'm sure Anders will because he shared a lot of pictures of him skydiving. But yeah, 200 euros saved from the tickets purchased with early bird can be really used here for the tandem jump or solo jump. And that's the Umbraco cloud in real life. That's Umbraco.
I would be very interested to see who signs up for this. There are a couple of people saying, "Yeah, I could be tempted."
Might be up for that. First Umbraco Cloud meetup in real cloud. Yeah. Cool. The next one is about Umbraco MVP awards. Also, the deadline is ending really soon here. It's a March
4 p.m.
end of March,
4 p.m.
4 p.m.
DK time next Wednesday. So you've got like 5 days to go, less than 5 days to go to submit your Umbraco Community Heroes, nominate them, tell them, spend a bit of time populating some of the great stuff they've been up to, and hopefully they'll be considered.
Yep. The next one are Umbraco Awards, and that's something what I wanted to mention. Let me just migrate my tab to the window I share. The deadline for this one is.
This has got a bit longer. I think it's.
It's going to open.
It's in May or something. I think the.
Yes,
Umbraco
it's May 15th. Yeah.
Just a good reminder.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's we know how much efforts are required to prepare a presentation videos for the awards, so it's good to keep it somewhere aligned in the calendar for sure. There is another deadline from Umbraco perspective, and it's a back office team that is being formed right now, and this is on April 1st. The form is closing on April 1st. Yep, so we'll definitely keep the links to this one under the video, and for all of them for sure to make it available for you all. And the last thing is the code cabin applications, and this is really far in time. Fortunately, in this case, it's until July 8th. And yeah, everyone who wants to attend this in-person event and specific event in the Umbraco community can submit the application in the form on the website that hopefully will land on my proper browser tab sooner or later. And if not, I will definitely include this in the links down below the video. And that's all from the reminder section. Last reminder is about subscribing us and liking our content to make us realize our dream of 1,000 subscribers.
1,000 subscribers. We've got quite a long way to go. I think we've got like 250 to go. How many? Is it Code Garden yet? Has it been updated? That's the question. Is it Code Garden yet? It is not. It is not Code Garden yet, so that needs updating. But it would be very helpful to know how many weeks we've got to go. Maybe we need a little counter margin saying like we need 25 subs a week or something. It's going to be something like that. Had some interest. Had an exciting chat.
And if not, we need to make some kind of.
Go on.
Yeah. Sorry. I wanted to say that if we won't reach it, we will probably need to make a physical button for the Code Garden on the entrance or somewhere. Just to just whenever you're entering the venue, like hit subscribe button in real life. That would be cool. That would be cool.
Very good. Yeah, I was talking with Ilham this week about plans for Code Garden and an umbraCoffee potentially there. So yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed that can all come off too. We can have that big button, Marcin. We can just go around everyone and make sure that take their phone, make sure they subscribe.
With a laptop in the hand, please subscribe. We want to have 1,000 subscribers. I don't know for what, but we really want to.
I have no idea. It's as I think we said the other day. It's certainly not for ad revenue or anything because we're nowhere near that.
Yeah, we want to be still independent, not supported, but still promoted the good stuff and yeah. Promoting your content, so be sure that whatever you are doing is visible, and if not, let us know about it. If you want to present something, demo something, share something that is maybe not available anywhere on the web, we are happy to always bring it up and discuss. And yeah, that's all for this week. And as usual, we'll see each other on the next Friday, which is April 1st. And yeah. Can't wait till then. Thanks, everyone, and thanks, Callum, for today. Have a great rest of the day and weekend ahead.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good one. Bye-bye.